What's up, everybody? It is me, your boy Ken, aka Fun Boy Sings or something, aka Ken Reacts. A lot of AKAs. So, this is a after viewing Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness review. I literally just finished the film. Literally. Let me let you know right now. This will not be a spoiler-free review. I try to keep all of my reviews pretty spoiler-free, but unfortunately, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is too convoluted of a plot for me to try and be vague about it, which I talk about. So, if you haven't watched the film and you want to watch it, do not watch this until after you watch the film. If you do not care one way or the other, then everything will be fine. Um, Hold on, let me just take out my Bluetooth so I can hear myself talk because I cannot hear myself talk. Okay, so I literally just finished Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness like 2 minutes ago. I watched the first half yesterday and I watched the second half today. Um, I watched it on Disney Plus. My friend let me use their Disney Plus account, so I watched it on Disney Plus. Doctor Strange is a convoluted film, so I think this is going to be a convoluted review. Um, little caveat: I didn't love the first Doctor Strange. I thought it was just okay. But I had a lot of expectations going into Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, based off of the trailers and based off of the fact that we were going to have America Chavez um, in the film. And, they did really well with multiverses and like exploring the multiverse in Spider-Man No Way Home, which I watched a couple months ago when it came out, and it was really, really good. Really enjoyed it. I was super excited to see what they were going to do, exploring multiverses in Doctor Strange. So I had high expectations from the film. So I will start with this. The film did not meet my high expectations. I had very high expectations of what the film was going to be. It did not meet that. It did not meet that for a couple of reasons. One, the movie is convoluted. The script is convoluted. It is just a mishmash of a lot of things happening. There's so much happening, yet so little happening at the same time in this film. Um, the first half of the film was okay. It definitely got better towards the end. It got much more interesting towards the end. The first half, I was kind of like, oh, there's a lot going on. Like there's a lot of action going on, but I'm not intrigued. I'm not into it. I'm not impressed. Um, I could also just have Marvel fatigue, because I love Marvel movies, but the MCU is pumping them out really quickly. Um, we're gonna have, um, I believe, the next film coming out in a few days is Thor: Love and Thunder, and then I think Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which I am excited about, will be coming out later this year. So there's a lot of movies coming out. So maybe I'm just getting fatigued, or maybe it just wasn't that good of a movie, and I'm kind of really in the place where um, it's a little bit of both. So let's talk about the plot a little bit. I really do want to try to keep this review under 30 minutes just because I don't want to be here talking about every single bit of the film. Like I said, it's too convoluted, but I'm going to try to hit certain points. So let me just give you a brief synopsis of what's going on. So Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is oh Lord, they're shooting off fireworks outside. Jesus Christ. Of course, when I'm doing a review, they shoot off fireworks. Fucking July 4th. Goddamn shit. Could you stop? Anyway, so it is after the events of No Way Home. Doctor Strange is contacted or has a dream about America Chavez, and they're looking for the Book of Ashanti, I believe it's called, or Shanti, Book of Shanti, which is a book to help counteract some unknown big bad. It's also after the events of WandaVision. That's important because our villain is Wanda Maximoff herself. And so he has a dream, or he thinks it's a dream, about America Chavez and him going to find the Book of Shanti. Turns out it is not a dream. It turns out that America Chavez has the power to open up portals to multiverses. She can travel through the multiverses. She doesn't know how to control her powers. So that what he thought was a dream was actually her and another Steven from another multiverse trying to get the Book of Shanti. She doesn't really trust Steven in this multiverse because that Steven in the other multiverse was going to take her power so that the big bad, whoever it was, because we don't know at this point, even though I kind of just spoiled it, but I said it was not spoil free, wants to take her power for themselves. So that's the big, like, overarching synopsis of the whole thing. That's the basic synopsis. Like I said, I'm not going to go into a huge plot, like breaking down every piece of the plot, because it will take way too long. So that's the gist of it. So because it's called Multiverse of Badness, we get to see different multiverses. We get to see new characters. We get to see other versions of characters that we've seen before, including multiple Stevens, another Wanda. We meet Captain Marvel, but this Captain Marvel is it's not Carol Danvers. So we get to see a lot of different characters within the different multiverses. So that's the gist of it. So, like I said, turns out the big bad is Wanda Maximoff, because she wants her children back, even though her children were something she created in the other multiverses. Her children exist, and there are other Wandas out there in these other multiverses. But in her universe, there are no children. So she desperately wants her kids back. The only way she feels like she can get her kids back is by stealing America's powers. Because, like I said, America has the power to basically punch these, like, star-shaped portals to go to different multiverses. So Wanda thinks that if she can steal that power, she can go and live in a universe where she can be with her children. Wanda is presented as a sympathetic villain. More on that later. So that is the plot and the problem. The problem is that they're trying to fight Wanda Maximoff, aka the Scarlet Witch, because she's gone full Darth Vader on us, okay? From killing America to take her power, because by also taking her power, she can start an incursion, which is when multiverses, blend into each other. Kind of what happened, if you haven't seen it, spoiler, kind of what happened in No Way Home, which is exactly what happened. It caused an incursion where two universes essentially destroy each other. So it was a lot going on. Okay, so let's talk about this. The film was about 2 hours. It was a little over 2 hours. It's a very, very long movie. It was one of the longest Marvel movies I've ever sat through. And I think that's one of the reasons why I was so just exhausted that I had to stop last night and then come back and do it again because, like I said, the first part did not impress me. There was a lot going on, but there was nothing going on, and I can somewhat forgive that because I understand they're trying to build a world and build a universe, and that takes a lot. It's hard to build a universe and try to show us all these different multiverses and give us character development and give us action and give us plot, and it's hard. So I'm not saying it's easy, but I will say that they've made so many Marvel movies that I just would have thought by now it would have been easy to create such this world and create memorable characters. Now, let's talk about the characters right quick. So, Doctor Strange. I have no problems with Doctor Strange. I think Benedict Cumberbatch does a fine job as Doctor Strange. I don't like him enough as a character to care about him individually in his films. I enjoy him in all the other Marvel movies, like in the Infinity War saga. I really, really enjoyed him. I think he's funny. He's sarcastic. He has a kind of gray moral compass that I think is human of him. There's no just A or B. He kind of exists in the gray area, which I think is cool. Um, America Chavez, one, the actress who played America Chavez is a newer actress, and it shows. Now, this is not a bad thing. By me saying it shows isn't me saying she was a bad actress, because she's not. But I can imagine being 16 years old and trying to help carry a film. It seems scary. And her acting was what it was. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't something I loved or cared for. Once again, I wanted to just love the character because here's this great queer POC, strong female character, but she spends half the movie running and being a damsel in distress, which, okay, fine. She doesn't know how to control her power. She doesn't know exactly what she's capable of yet. I guess I can understand that, but they should have covered that in they should have given her a TV show and covered all that. By this time, I needed her to be ready to kick some butt, and it was just really disappointing. She spent half of the movie just running away and being a damsel, and I'm done with the damsels in distress. I don't understand why she didn't why the character had to be like that, and then of course the last 20 minutes of the films, the nice white man says, "You can do this," and then she's like, "Oh my God, I can do this," and then all of a sudden she's strong now, and she's fighting, and it was great. I love seeing I love growth, but she was useless for half the film. Aside from the fact that girl know how to open portals, she was useless for half the film. And the character of America Chavez, first of all, the actress doesn't look like America. America Chavez has darker skin, curlier hair. I don't want to get too much in the colorism conversation because I stay be talking about colorism because it's important. And Hollywood has made it clear that they don't value darker skin, and that they think that there's something unattractive uh, about darker skin, hence why they're constantly casting light skinned actresses to play characters who are canonically dark skinned. Marvel's no exception. Um, so she doesn't really look like America. Aside from the fact that America Chavez is a queer character, we don't know that she's queer. They don't tell us anything to signify that she is queer. Nothing. She doesn't even get a my girlfriend type of nothing. Literally nothing. If you didn't know that America Chavez was one of the uh, most popular lesbian superheroes, you would know. So all this hype about her being this lesbian superhero, and we got nothing. If you didn't know, you would not know she's a queer character. So that bothered me. I noticed that the MCU seems to have a hesitation with exploring queer female sexuality as opposed to exploring a little more. Not great. Let's be honest. They're not great with it. In the Eternals, our gay character got to kiss his husband. Obviously, America doesn't need she doesn't need a love interest to be queer. Doesn't need to have any she doesn't need to wear rainbows. She doesn't need to wear, she doesn't need that, but there needs to be some indication that she's something. Give us something, even if it's just a throwaway. Yeah, my girlfriend or the girl I have a crush on. They couldn't give us nothing. So that I didn't love. The character, she's a young girl trying to learn how to control powers. Been there, done that. We've seen it. Let's move on. And then we get introduced to a lot of other new characters. Like I said, spoiler alert, we get introduced to multiversal characters of some of our well-known established characters. So in one of the universes that they end up in, they are I'm sorry, I don't know how to say it. They beat a group of heroes known as the Illuminati, who some of the members include Captain America, but not the Captain America you've already seen. This is Agent Carter as a version of Captain America, which was awesome. I love seeing that, actually. I thought she was great. We have Black Bolt from the Inhumans, who is a great character. The Inhumans TV show was not good, but one of my favorite parts of the Inhumans TV show was Black Bolt. I think his power is interesting. I think it's great how they had the actors learn how to sign, and I thought it was really, really cool. I think Black Bolt is a great character. I do hope to see more of Black Bolt. And then we also have Monica Rambeau's mama herself as Captain Marvel, which was super cool. I love the actress who plays her. She was amazing. There's a fight scene between her and Captain Carter / Captain America and Wanda that is really cool. I wish the fight would have been a little bit longer, but it was a really cool fight. Fucking Captain Marvel is a badass. No matter who plays her, she's a fucking badass. But I really, really, really love Lashana Lynch as the character. And then we have Chiwetel Ejiofor's character, who unfortunately I forget the character's name all the time, just because Mordor, I want to say. Mordor, Chiwetel Ejiofor is a fantastic actor. I love everything he's ever been in. Everything I've seen with him in, I love it. He can do no wrong to me. And the same goes for this character. I love this character. I do. I love the intensity he brings to Mordor. I love the sense, that same sense of that gray area of right and wrong. He is, him and Strange, go at it, but they're so alike in so many ways. They are exact copies of each other, but they don't see that they're the exact same. And I love that. I love that they're mirrors of each other, but they don't see it. And like I said, Chiwetel Ejiofor is a fantastic actor. I love seeing him in the film. And then we have a very divisive John Krasinski as Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four. I'm in the minority of people who actually like the Fantastic Four film that came out in 2005. I thought the first one was quite good. It kind of went downhill on the Rise of Silver Surfer, but I love the Silver Surfer. How he just goes and destroys worlds. Cool. Love that. I love the Silver Surfer, so I like the film for that reason. But as a film, the second original Fantastic Four that came out in 2005, and I think the second one came out in 2008 or something like that, were just okay. So we've only had one maybe two examples of Reed Richards. I haven't seen the other Fantastic Four. I'm not going to watch it. I heard it was so bad. I'm not going to waste my time and energy. I mean, I might. I watch bad movies all the time, so maybe you never know. I might, but I don't plan on it. Um, I wasn't sure at first with John Krasinski as Reed Richards, but then they have that scene where Doctor Strange meets the Illuminati in this other universe, and he talks about, he just talks as the character. He has a very short scene, but then I ended up really liking John Krasinski as Reed Richards, and I think he'll do a fine job. Honestly, some people didn't like him, and that's totally fine. But I liked him. I liked him as Reed Richards, and then of course the iconic Professor X. Patrick Stewart plays a different version of Professor X, but plays Professor X in the film. So this is his like official MCU introduction as the character. And he's great. Patrick Stewart's great. I mean, you'll never be complaining about his Professor X. I think he's a great Professor X. I hope he can play that character forever and ever until he can't play the character anymore, because he really does a fine job at playing Professor X. And I loved him in the film. With that being said, pause. So I live in Wyoming, and there's fires all the time. And these look at this. Do you hear this? Do you hear this? Anyway, back to what I was saying. But I'm a little annoyed because Professor X is one of the most powerful, like, telepaths in the world. Like, in the whole Marvel universe, he's one of the most powerful. Like, he's ridiculously powerful. Some would say too powerful. But he gets beat by Miss Lady so quick. And I know Scarlet Witch is a very powerful character. I know about M-Day. I know about all of that. I know that she can really fuck some shit up. With that being said, they couldn't have given him a little bit of like a mind fight, like something. And like, I know that just because you kill characters in one multiverse, it doesn't mean the other ones die. So I know that there's more Professor X's, more Reed Richards, more Captain Marvels out there. I'm acutely aware of that. So I know we'll see the characters again. But I think it's just ridiculous to introduce all these cool characters just to kill them off in like 10 minutes. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not getting what they were trying to go for, but I just think it's ridiculous to introduce all these cool characters and then kill them off. Like what the fuck? Like, I just think it's ridiculous. With that being said, I do hope to see more of that universe. I would love to actually see like a movie, or even a TV show, like a short mini series about the Illuminati, how they got together, a little bit about that world, because I really liked the all of them. I really, really liked all of the characters. I think they worked well together. I believe that they all worked together, and that they were all friends, and that they were all colleagues, and they fought alongside each other. I believed it. I really did like each character individually. I just hate how they died. Wanda. Wanda. I feel like there's going to be a lot of conversations about Miss Wanda. And I don't think I'm going to add anything to the conversation about what they did with her character, that, like, anything new to the conversation, other than Wanda bugs me. Because I was just talking about this to my roommate. Why is it that Wanda's motivation for doing everything is a man? Listen, first it was her brother dying. Then it was her love, Vision. And then now it's her trying to get to her kids, or 2 boys. Why is it always that? My favorite thing about WandaVision and my favorite thing about Agatha Harkness was that she was a badass bitch. She wanted power, and that was it. There didn't have to be this sympathetic villain like story of something traumatic that happened that made her what she was. Girl just wanted to be powerful, and I love that. I love characters who just they stand in what they are. And so this whole kind of she's bad, but then she redeems herself, and she's bad, and we've seen it with Wanda before. Like, aren't we done with it? And I know that love can really push people to do things they would probably never do. And I understand she loves her kids. I understand she misses her kids. But I don't know. I'm tired of it. We've already seen Wanda do this whole bad to good to bad to good. I'm done with it. The Scarlet Witch is a great, great character. She's a great character. But I think that they consistently drop the ball with Scarlet Witch, except in WandaVision. Where they really gave her something great to work with. And I think Elizabeth Olsen is a fantastic actress, and that they're just not giving her some good meat to work with. And I'm disappointed because the character's great, but like I spent half the movie confused. I was like, I know that's your motivation, but it seems like a lot. Like, you killed all those kids at the temple, and you're willing to kill this child, and willing to kill friends and everybody to get back to your kids. And I was so confused half the time. I really was. I was so confused half the time. Another thing, the movie is listed as a horror film. I see why that it's listed as a horror film. There were definitely some horror elements in the film. I thought there were too many horror elements. I think they focused a little bit too much on making it scary, and in doing that, the plot and the character development lacked. It lacked. It really did. They focused too much on scares and kills that they didn't give us enough, like, of a good plot. Like, this movie should have killed. This movie should have knocked me off my feet. It had everything, like literally everything, to be a great film. So the fact that I was sitting there bored for half of it really bothered me, especially because I was looking so bored. I was going to go watch this film in the theaters. Decided not to because I knew they were going to put it on Disney Plus, and I'm trying not to spend as much money going to watch films, you know. So I was so looking forward to it. I was so excited, you know. So it kind of just it bothered me that it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It lacked, and I know I'm not the only person who thought that it lacked. And I am getting a little bit like concerned that the quality of Marvel films are going down because they're trying to push out too many. So you're giving us Marvel films, but I want good Marvel films, okay? I want good films. I want freaking Endgame good. I want freaking Black Panther good. I want freaking Thor Ragnarok good. I want good films. I want good shows. I don't just want it to be out because you want it out and because they're trying to introduce all these characters and get all these characters into movies. I want good films. People, Marvel fans and like fans of stuff, we spend too much money for y'all to not put some work into this stuff. And yeah, so it bugged me. It bugged me. But I guess I should talk about what I liked about the film. Things I liked. Pros. Let's start with some pros. Pros of the film. Like I said, there were some characters I really, really enjoyed. It was a visually beautiful film, but we knew it was going to be visually beautiful. Once again, CGI. I've talked about this in my reviews of shows, of movies, Marvel movies and stuff. It was a little much, but once again, these are multiverses. So this is the one time where I was like, I get it. I get why the CGI is like that. So the CGI was pretty good. I love the introduction of all the different multiverses. That one scene when Steven and America are like going through the multiverses and it changes, and like the paint one was really cool. And they go through all these multiverses. It was so visually beautiful. It was visually beautiful. It was stunning. It was so good. That part was so good. There were parts of this film that I loved so much. Like the reintroduction of the characters. The fight scenes were really good, but you'll never hear me saying that Marvel movies do not have good, like, choreographed fight scenes. They really put some work in those fight scenes, and I love them for it. So those are all the pros. And that being said, we do get to see a cool new character, because like I said, America as a character, her power is so cool, and how they show her power is awesome. Um, so those are my pros. My cons, once again, the plot, convoluted. Oh my god, confusing and convoluted. Like I said, don't love Doctor Strange in the solo movies, but whatever. Characters, there was lack some character development. It's hard to develop characters when you're just pushing them out. So it lacks some character development, and I didn't like what they did to Wanda's character. I don't like this thing that she needs to always, have this sad backstory, sympathetic villain. I'm not into it anymore. Marvel does a lot of that sympathetic villain stuff. I just want a villain who's a villain. Sometimes I just want a villain who's a villain, who stands in what they are. And that's where DC does better. They give us memorable villains, and they don't have to be sympathetic. We don't always need a sympathetic villain, Marvel. Disney, we don't always need a sympathetic villain. Sometimes we just want a villain who's bad because they're bad. Done. Done. So. With that being said, I do have hope that just because this film was not up to my expectations, that the other films that are coming out, like Thor: Love and Thunder and Black Panther 2, they might be. So I'm not completely just losing hope, but I do think that Disney should move a little further away from films, full-length films, and really focus on making TV shows, because one, less money, and two, you can introduce so many more characters when you're doing TV shows. Look at how many TV shows they've already given us of new characters and established characters. And most of them are pretty good. I've only watched 3 of them. I've seen WandaVision, which I loved, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I love. I'm almost done with Moon Knight, which I love. So they really are doing some good stuff with the TV shows. You don't have to give us full-length movies. I think I would have liked Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness as a series versus a film, because that is just too much stuff to try to fit into a 2-hour film. That's too much stuff. Too much happened. It was just a lot. Clea, I did like the ending with Clea. She seems like she's going to be fun. I like Charlize Theron. I liked her outfit. She's a powerful witch, master of mystic arts. So I'm excited to see what she's about. Obviously, probably won't see her in another film for a couple of years, but I am excited to see what she's about and see, where it goes. So all in all, I guess I would give the film, if we were scoring from a 1 to 10, I would give the film a 6. And I was originally going to give it a 5, but because there were quite a few pros versus the cons, and it got so much better towards the end, I'm going to give it a 6 instead of a 5. If I was rating it on an A to D scale, I would give it a B minus. Could have been great, wasn't. But it was still pretty enjoyable. At least the second half was, where I didn't hate it. So there it is. That's my review. I actually didn't spoil as much as I thought I was going to spoil in this review. So that's good, I think. So that people who watch this, who haven't seen the film, hopefully I didn't ruin too much for you, but I did put it in the description that this is not spoiler free. So, all right. Thank you all for watching. Have a great night. I'm going to go before I slap one of these people for doing one. Ugh, I can't. I can't with the freaking fireworks. I can't. I'm done. But anyway, thank you for watching. If you've seen the film and you have any like comments, please let me know. How did you feel about it? I would love to know how you felt about it, because that's my favorite thing about being in a in fandoms. We all have different feelings about how we feel about the comics or the movies or whatever. So if you loved it and you think that I'm missing something, let me know. And also let it be known that I've watched a film, didn't really like it the first time, watched it again and liked it more. So this might be that case where I may give it another watch and end up liking it more. Or I may just end up hating it even more. Or just not being impressed with it. Because I didn't hate it. It was an okay film. But I didn't want okay. So anyway, bye. And don't forget, y'all, stay gay.